Hi, in this video we're going to explore more of factorising the difference of two squares. Now let's remind ourselves what the difference of two squares is. It's when we have this particular algebraic form. So it's when we have a subtraction, a difference of two squared things. That's why it's called the difference of two squares. And what I mean by a squared thing is it's something squared. So it could be a square number or it could be some algebraic expression squared. And the way we then factorised it was to have two brackets like this. We have a plus in the middle of one of them and a minus in the middle of the other bracket. Either way round, doesn't matter which way round. And then we did the square root of the first term, so the square root of a squared. And the square root of a squared is just a, because we're just asking ourselves what times by itself is a squared. Well, it's a. A multiplied by a is a squared. So you put that as the first term in each bracket. And then you do the square root of the second term. The square root of b squared is just b. And then you make that the second term of each bracket. So let's use that for these examples here. We can see that we do have a difference two squares because look, it's a difference, a subtraction of two squared expressions. So we do two brackets with a plus in the middle of one, a minus in the middle of the other. Doesn't matter which way round. And then what we do is we do the square root of the first thing, the first term. So what's the square root of 4x squared? Well, to do the square root of 4x squared, you can square root the 4, which is 2. The square root of 4 is 2. And you square root the x squared, which is just x. The square root cancels out the squared there. So you just get 2x. So we get 2x as the first term of each bracket. And then what's the square root of the second term, the y squared? Well, it's just y, because y multiplied by itself will give you y squared. So you put y as the second term of each bracket. So that is the final factorisation of that difference of two squares. What about the second one? Two brackets again, plus in the middle of one of them, minus in the middle of the other. You do firstly the square root of the first term, the 25p squared. Well, the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of p squared is just p, so you get 5p. And just to check that works, if you did 5p multiplied by itself, 5 times 5 is 25, p times p is p squared. So we can see that indeed the square root of 25p squared is 5p. And what's the square root of the second term, the 9q squared? Well, the square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of q squared is just q. So we get 3q as the second term of each bracket. And we're done.